Happy Passover, everyone. This is just brilliant.
Well, that landing sucked. You dead, Morty? Because that would honestly simplify my day.
Huh? Wait for me! Whoa, what's happening here, Rick? Are we in one of those dystopian sand musicals?
Yup. Ancient Egypt, Morty. Sand slaves and systemic suffering. A real classic human era. I'm gonna go have a little chat with the local sun god worshipping maniac. Worst case, we end up mummified. Alright, you sand diva. I'm Rick, and I'm here to end your HR violations. Let them go.
They carry bricks. They stack rocks. They sing songs about me. What part of divine rulers don't you understand?
I'm not the messenger, Pharaoh. I'm the consequence. You can give up the slaves or give up everything.
Oh.
Oh God! Geez, Rick! I think the river's... Yep, that's definitely blood, but that's actual blood, Rick!
Manual wrath is for amateurs, Morty. This is divine automation.
No! We gotta disappear, Rick!
Congrats, Morty. You're now 100% less suspicious and 300% more itchy.
I don't know what's happening, but I think I'm winning, Rick!
Please, just stop. You can take these people if you just go and never come back.
All right, listen up, desert dwellers. Good news. Pharaoh folded like a cheap papyrus scroll. You're free.
We helped free an entire civilization, Rick. So, that's it?
Basically.
We're the good guys now?
They think they can mock me? Get them back. At all costs.
What? What the hell, Rick? Pharaoh's army is coming! With death cars! The sea is right there! We've got nowhere to go! Unless you've got an inflatable ark in the coat, we're doomed!
Chillax, Morty. I'm waiting for my pizza order and then I'll figure something out. Like I always do. We got a homicidal monarchy inbound and a sea to cross. No time for proofing the dough, Giuseppe. I'll take it to go.
This is not how I imagined dying, Rick! Riding a grumpy desert giraffe into the sea of uncertainty!
Well, at least the water's warm. And I didn't even pee yet.
Rick, this is not hot tub time! There's like an army right behind us! We need a miracle or a jet ski!
Miracle incoming, Morty. Just looking for that stupid factory reset button. Ocean, time to part ways. It's just marine life, Morty. Weird, wet, judgmental marine life.
She's definitely trying to lure me, Rick! And it's working! Oh God, what's wrong with me?
They ran from Pharaoh into a sea, and now they'll drown in their own fate.
Oh no, you ancient jerks. You shall not pass! Let it be known across history, the day was saved by a robe-wearing, staff-wielding, biochemically unbalanced genius.
Hey, has anyone seen Uncle Rick? I'm starving!
Open the dome, Morty. You're not gonna regret it.
Is this another one of your stupid tricks? Did you hide the Afiko Man in space?
I turned myself into gefilte fish, Morty. I'm gefilte-reek! It's the only way to survive a full Passover Seder without reading that whole damn thing. I'm tradition, trauma, and omega-3s rolled into one slippery nightmare. So just shut up and eat.
I'm Gefilterik. This is amazing. Gotta love ChatGPT. Gotta love the internet. It's just brilliant. This video credits to Timmy Turtles. He doesn't have a YouTube or Instagram. I think I found him only on Facebook, so I'm gonna leave his link here. I think he used ChatGPT and other AI programs to make this, but that's just a brilliant way of telling the story, the Haggadah of Pesach, to the younger generation, to kids, even to adults. Hey, I enjoyed it. And it brings me to actually this Passover. I've been invited by a Jewish family that lives here in Germany to host their Seder. And they've been inviting me for the last 3 years, which is quite epic on their side that they invited Drew's guy to come and host the Seder. And every year I try to make it creative. Last year I did it with Ahmed and Ben's puppets. I came dressed with my jalabiya, the Arab outfit that I got from my village. And it was just a fun, creative way to bring people together and to tell a very important story. But anyway, this year, I asked him who's coming. He told me it's going to be only me, my wife, and our 2 kids and dogs. So I said, okay, great. So we have 3 kids and 4 adults. I'm going to make it for kids. So I spent the whole evening going on ChatGPT and basically kind of capturing images or telling him to make images of the 3 kids going on an adventure. And the whole idea was that they're going walking their dogs, and then the dogs see a portal, and then the dogs run and jump through the portal, and then the kids want to save the dogs, so they jump in the portal with the dogs, and they end up in ancient Egypt. And as they go on an adventure to rescue their dogs and bring them back home, they go through the story of Egypt. Now, ChatGPT kind of went a little bit haywire with me and had some really weird ideas, so I had to always kind of bring it down. And sometimes it just added monkeys out of nowhere. I don't know why. But long story short, it ended up being a very creative way of telling these kids the story. And the whole prize in the end, once every kid had a challenge he had to, overcome. I did it like a Dungeon and Dragon styles, where you make it interactive with them. And once every kid overcome a challenge, then the 3 kids come together and they get these artifacts and they bring it, and that helps them open the Red Sea. And they go and they find Moses, and Moses is waiting there with their pups, and they welcome them. And then Moses passes them the scroll, and it tells them, the torch is in your hand right now. Keep the tradition. And the tradition is not only the story of Passover, but the tradition was the torch, the gift of storytelling, keeping that tradition alive, because storytelling is my favorite art. And I feel like storytelling around the bonfire, around the table, around in a pub with your friends, doesn't matter what, storytelling is one of the greatest ways to bring people together. And who else but the Jewish people can teach us so much about storytelling, because they brought so many stories to the world and they preserve these stories so well that even today we can still learn from the wisdom and the mistakes and the successes of the ancients. And that is just a beautiful way. Anyway, it ended up actually being the dinner. There were about 8 adults because they randomly invited all kind of people. So they kind of got stuck with a very different experience of the Seder. But long story short, I highly recommend try to find always creative ways to tell these stories, that you keep that tradition alive in your family and to bring the wisdom. And I think one of the most beautiful things that I take from Passover, for me, it's a story of freedom. It's a story of overcoming slavery and breaking the chains of slavery. And slavery can be many things in your life. Could be addictions, could be bad relationships, could be fears, anxieties, jealousy, things that are holding you back. Could be just, your laziness, so you don't want to go to the gym and get in shape. Doesn't matter what. Oh, so many things that are holding you back. And the story of the Jewish people escaping Egypt, the whole Exodus, the whole story of Pesach, you have so many things you can take from them. And what I take usually is that aspect of freedom, breaking down the chains that are holding us. And in some aspects, the Jews, they broke one chain that was, chaining them in Egypt as slaves, but then they had to walk for 40 years in the desert. Now, it doesn't take 40 years across the Sinai Desert. I can tell you that for a fact. I walked all of Israel, which is longer, for about 32 days. And I could have done it even way faster. I just started slowing down at the end because I was walking too fast for no reason. 40 years? Nah. So I heard someone saying that it took them 40 years because that's what needed for the whole generation of slaves to perish and to bring a new generation into the land of God, into the promised land, because he did not want to bring the same mentality of slavery, the same mentality of people that always, when things get hard, they want to go back to their owner, to the slave owner. He wanted free people that have ambitions, that are willing to follow with faith into the future and create a great land for them and for the children to come. And I think that's one of the things that we also sometimes we make the decision to break out of something, but then we keep going back to it or going in circles and we don't take the final step. And what was the final step here? Crossing the Red Sea. That was basically the ultimate test of faith. They had so many miracles happening around, but that miracle, oh boy, they were really in the hands of God or of Moses, who was, the spokesman of God. And while you're walking in that sea and it's departed, and I really like the Disney kind of image of it, where you see a blue whale suddenly coming in, an orca, and I don't know what, all kind of mammals that don't necessarily exist in the Red Sea. But bottom line, still walking in that ocean and seeing this and realizing there's an army behind me. I'm right now in the mud here, running around this mud and seaweeds and rocks. And if that ocean closed, you can say, miraculously departed, or just the tide open and the tide goes down. Either way, they're gonna get drowned. They're gonna drown, and I doubt that many Israelis who escaped Egypt knew how to swim. So if you are someone who doesn't know how to swim, you probably understand, or someone that learned swimming at a later age. I had a friend who learned swimming at the age of 30, and I went canyon diving with him, jumping like into pools and sliding, in the water, and he was terrified. And he told me, listen, man, when you learn to swim at the age of 30, you learn to respect water. So imagine how terrifying that must have been, but they had to really have faith. The last step of breaking the chains and entering the promised land so they can go and do as they were intended, fulfill their full potential. So this Passover, I wish for everyone here, aside from don't do anything stupid and don't do anything that I would do, I would wish you guys that you learn to figure out the chains that are holding you back, and you break them off, shake them off, and then you actually learn to do the journey of leaving away that old version of yourself that was not the best version or was holding you down, and going into the better version of yourself, but really making that step. Many times that's going to be a leap of faith. So till then, guys, don't do anything stupid, and happy holidays, happy Passover, and may we all see the hostages coming back free sooner than later. Yesterday. Stay safe. God bless.